everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I do have a special report. It's not the typical type of news that you're accustomed to listening to, but this is something that came through during a private session, and I do many private sessions, many private sessions. And on occasion, a lot of the information that comes through is for the individual. Sometimes it goes over into helping the planet and kind of resolving certain issues that may have been a problem that affecting others. In this situation, I interacted with a very kind individual from Taiwan. His name is Wei Chang, and we had a discussion a bit about what was going on. He said he's having struggles with his business, which we all understand that can be a challenge. So I started looking at some of his personal information and the things that were affecting him, and I saw the Calypso ray around him. And if for those of you who don't know who the Calypso ray are, they're a group of they look like they're grays, but they're very positive. I've had them assist and help me on many occasions regarding the planet, sometimes regarding things related to nuclear issues and helping with cleanup in some atmospheric areas. And so that they have showed up. I don't know how much that they're able to help, but they seem to have a strong desire to assist. When I started to look further into the location, I could see that there were some darker energies that were troubling and bothering Wei Chang, which I started to identify as some kind of dark, what some might refer to as demonic, but others might see them as Dracos or Draconians. And then I also started seeing the ones that I've talked about as these demons that look kind of hairy, that I refer to as the Joser. And this group they're very violent, they cause a lot of problems, and he confirmed that there was serious violence that goes on in Taiwan. And so that they were trying to assist in the removal of some of these beings, which I found also who existed in what looked like a sub-world, a small world within our world, dimensionally and shifting. And I've had incidences like this before. It seems to be a place where they kind of can settle in a bit. And I asked to have that subworld removed. One of the things that came up once they were removed is the Calypso ray came to me and asked me to follow him energetically and was going to point something out. And he went off-world and went to the moon. And when he went to the moon, he brought me to this place which looked like, I've seen this before, it's some kind of matrix that sort of has looks like some kind of weird plumbing, I don't know any other way to describe it. And within that space, he brought me over to this lower platform where there was part of that plumbing coming up, and then it had a crystal on top of it. And he picked up the crystal and held it in his hands, and underneath the crystal there was some kind of green color which looked very similar to what would be copper, like when copper gets the patina on it, or it sort of changes from the oxidization effect. I mean, that's the only way I can describe what it looked like. Is if that's, I can't confirm exactly what that was. The stone that he was holding could fit in the palm of probably our hands, and had multi-facets on it. And what I heard is that it created some kind of fracturing of light, and also had something similar to a scalar weapon. So it was a weapon, and it was aimed at a certain region which would be identified as Taiwan. In this case, the Calypso ray is pointing at this object and saying it was hitting Taiwan. And so I asked, what exactly is it doing? And they said that it had some kind of energy that was promoting a type of servitude, some type of submissive behavior, and that no matter how hard they worked, that they weren't going to be able to excel. And so then I asked, approximately how long has that crystal been there, this essentially this weapon? And I was informed that it's been there for about 16,000 years. And to that statement, Wei Cheng said to me, it sounds like it came from Atlantis, which essentially lined up with kind of the time of when some of these things were put in place and how the earth has been affected for this many years, and certain regions of the earth seem to be able to excel and some don't. Now, does this answer all the questions as to why there's inequities in the world? I don't know, but I will say that this is definitely a piece to the puzzle, and that crystal was removed. I will be watching and seeing how Taiwan does. Hopefully they lift from it. And if that's the case, then if there are any others there, I'd probably do the same, because not that this will affect an imbalance elsewhere. If Taiwan does well, it doesn't mean that another nation won't do well. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I believe if they can stand on their own feet, they can produce and support and bring something in, then and then other nations also that are having a hard time will also do well. So to me, this was good news, and I'm happy to bring in good news that they've resolved one issue, but for thousands of people who will now be affected by it in a positive way. And also, like I said, the criminal behavior, I guess, the violence, it was extremely unnatural there, and maybe it will lighten up in some of the issues of violence. And I'm sure that other nations would like to experience some assistance in this area as well. And so I'll be watching and seeing what the impact is. And if this is the case, I will ask the Solipsi Ray or some of the others to assist in helping other nations also. I just wanted to share a brief message that came from, here's a brief message that came from Wei Cheng. He says, I'm happy to hear about the Solipsi Ray. Jessica was to learn about the Solipsi Ray. And he said, Jessica was able to help me find out that they're my protector and that they're doing great things to help me in my country, which is Taiwan. There's an ancient crystal-based controlling device that's been put on the moon, and they have aimed it at my country by those beings of a dark nature. Many dark and unfortunate things are happening around my country, including to myself, also related with this type of device and these beings. The situation needs to be addressed and fixed, and we can't do this alone from Earth by ourselves. We do need star people such as the Solipsi Ray to help us in this aspect. These harmful crystal technology devices could be around since the age of Atlantis. We don't know exactly how many of them still workable and are being controlled by those who want to enslave humanity yet. But I am pleased for we can start to look into the situation and then deal with it by this through this opportunity. Although at the same time, it seems I feel we still have a lot of work to do before we can finally get rid of all of them. Thank you, Jessica, and thank you, Solipsi Ray. So with that said, thank you, Wei Cheng, for helping. I think a lot of people are like a gateway to assist and help. We're all doing this together, and thank you for all of you supporting this channel and being open to receiving this information. I hope we can all celebrate one day. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye for now.